The biggest update since launch is now available for Assassin's Creed Valhalla, adding a ton of new items that look really cool, brand new maps for us to explore that are more dense and interesting compared to the previous river raids, and I really enjoyed the brand new encounters. There is more though, rune system changes, a new difficulty. I will go over everything you need to know in this video. Would be awesome if you could leave a like, only takes 1 second of your time, would really help me out. And let's go. Congrats to Martijn van der Velde, a fellow Dutchman who won my previous Helix credit pack giveaway for 2,300 credits. We'll send you an email and already started a brand new one, which you can enter via the link in the pinned comment. You of course have to be a subscriber if you want a chance to win. And good luck. After I installed the new update, which is 14 gigs on PS5, but it's a little more on other platforms, you see them right here, I immediately got a pop-up saying that the new river raids were available. I saw some people in the chat saying that they could not access the new areas immediately. I think you need to have completed the first river raid quest line first. So go to Fawn in your settlement across the bridge, and you can also check the river raid missions in your quest log to see what you have to do. Fawn is, by the way, also selling some brand new cosmetics like settlement items and also a new naval set we already saw in that roadmap image. It looks pretty cool, but it's smarter to spend your foreign supplies on the brand new ship upgrades that do cost a lot, but can get you up to 600 supplies per run, which will be handy especially in the brand new River Rhine, where you find a lot of chests with loot. You can also upgrade your Viking hull now 2 extra times to see rank 4, and then with the fully upgraded Viking hull, rank 5 Vikings that you can then recruit. Of course, use the bell outside of the hull for these new Viking to appear after you've upgraded the house. And like, they will be really nice because I was raiding with a lot of rank 3 allies and they would drop really fast. So again, I would spend my foreign supplies on the upgrades first before you get the new cosmetics. And we will of course totally showcase the new items that Fawn is selling in a future video and also go way more in depth on the brand new armor set. It was already really easy for me to get the amazing new helmet of this Luke's armor. In the first river, I had to go to the first military encampment with Irish enemies, and I got it there from one of the bigger chests. And it seems to be the same for everyone, by the way, and this immediately turned into one of my favorite helmets in the game. Upgrading it changes it a bit, but the sad part is that I don't see it in the transmog system yet. Maybe they can hotfix that, like they did for the Paris items, but right now, if you want to see the look, you have to actually use it. The stats are okay. Not really great on paper, but again, we'll be trying it out and showcase it more in a future video. So yeah, totally check out the more heavily guarded military locations in the 2 Irish rivers for the rest of the armor set. There are also druids though, including werewolves. Like these Raptor druids enemies totally add the extra tension to this mode, which the original release was lacking. The environments are also more diverse. Sure, sometimes familiar, but changed up, especially for this river raid. In the first river, you still need to find a clue in order to continue. There is a map marker now, which is nice, and I found a clue in the underground area with some snakes and a chest. So then on your right hand side you find it, and then you are tasked to kill the champion of River Arif, which then leads you to the champion in River Rhine in Francia. And yes, these champions are actually challenging this time and use awesome Salad-like abilities. It's a big step up from the champion in the previous map, and don't forget, when you die, you lose all your progress in that current river. So you have to be extra careful when fighting these champions. And this also applies to when you try and do the new maps on the brand new Nightmare difficulty they also added with this patch. You can immediately select it in the options menu. Here you also see that rations now give less health depending on your difficulty. Here you see me use a ration on the Nightmare difficulty and I only get 60% of my health instead of the full bar. It's also 60% on very hard and 80% of your health on hard. But going back to the Nightmare difficulty, because the biggest change for Nightmare is that you now take 200% more damage, which is of course a lot. And this basically means that if you use non-upgraded armor, like here I'm using the Egyptian armor, it gives me around 150 armor in total. I'm getting one shot on the Nightmare difficulty, no chance to do anything back. So inventory upgrades are even more important now. This is my fully upgraded Paladin armor with some armor runes. Now I got 315.9 armor, and now I can like totally absorb multiple hits. Although it's really the damage spikes from powerful enemy attacks that can catch you off guard. That happened to me. If you watch the stream, you know what I'm talking about. Doing the river raids here on the nightmare difficulty, and then bam, out of nowhere, this druid deals a ton of damage, and I was dead. I had to restart. So you are warned. But it totally makes the river raids more exciting if you're up for that. And the fights against these champions were way more exciting as well, because they could kill you very easily if you don't pay attention. When you succeed though, you get a new weapon. I got a new spear, Luke's spear from the druid with ignite your weapon on a stun for 10 seconds. I get the second free one-handed sword from the second champion in River Rhine. So follow the river raid missions and you will get the sword eventually. We'll again go more in depth on all the new weapons and the new armor set in the future. There are also brand new abilities. I found the spinning harpoon in River Rhine. And this lets you spin the harpoon around as long as you got stamina. So it's really fun to use in groups of enemies and quite strong too. I still need to get the other two abilities, but Petter already shared videos of them in the Andy Reloads Discord. So thanks a lot for that. We got percussion arrow, where you of course shoot an arrow to an enemy with a shield that then damages surrounding enemies too. Pretty cool. And also we got precision extra, where you have to perform an advanced assassination quick time event to then hit the enemy's weak point. And the other huge thing about this update are of course the rune changes I already touched on briefly in my previous video. So something you will immediately notice is that your weapons might be slower if you, like me, went full speed. So put speed runes on every weapon. First, this would apply to all the weapons, but now the speed runes only apply to that single weapon. So yeah, then you have like less speed overall. And it's the same, by the way, for other stat bonuses. And the other big thing is that the caps are now removed. Here before the update, I used the Iron set, giving me 30 attack after 3 kills. So I go from 142.3 attack to 172.3. Okay, that makes sense. But then I do the buff from the Surtur sword, which gives me 30 extra attack when the weapon is ignited. But my attack, instead of adding 30 extra points, went from 172 to 182. So the cap for attack was 40 before the update, and now after the update, I could make my way to 232 attack. I also used the 2 Abstergo items, giving more attack the lower the enemy's health, 2 Einarjar items, and also the buff from the Surtur sword. So yes, the caps are gone. Could mean some cool things. I still need to spend more time with the new systems to figure that out. So we'll touch on that soon. Another thing they changed that is important to note and kind of annoying is that when selecting runes now, the sort function tells you how you will be sorting after pressing R3 on PlayStation in my case, but not what sorting settings you are currently showing, while that was the case before. So it's now super confusing what you are looking at. I really hope they change that. And now, I spent a lot of time, of course, with the river raids and all the damage changes, but Joyce spent some time on the other editions of the update, so Joyce, take it away.
Thanks, Jordan. With the new big update also came a lot of game fixes, including for the 2 DLCs, starting with a major one for the Siege of Paris. Remember Ile de la Cité, the cool quest location where Eivor took part in the actual Siege of Paris? After that quest was over, there was not really a way to get back over there, because the bridge was broken in half and the walls were covered in barricades. Well, some players could re-enter the location through unintended means, as the patch notes noted. And Axis the Animus had tried that out, link of their channel in the video description, via a climbing tactic. I tried it myself, starting by the broken bridge over here on the map before the Ile de la Cité. Just parkour your way over to the wall, climb over here, and after a few tries I got over the wall by doing a wall jump to a nearby platform, and basically could run around the palace grounds. Ubisoft now fixed the issue by putting an extra barricade on the wall so we cannot climb over anymore. Aww. Oh well, was fun while it lasted. There are more DLC fixes for both Ireland and Francia, namely where players did not receive XP by doing daily quests in these countries, and this is indeed now fixed after finishing a daily and seeing the XP pop up on the right side of the screen. Staying in Ireland for a moment there, as they also know that the bed in Dublin was no longer accessible. This of course due to the Sleeping Beauty bug, where Eivor kept looping the going to sleep animation. Well, this can finally be put to rest as Eivor is able to use the bed again, looking at the icon above it. Alright, let's return to England and go over an issue that has been around for a long time, that is players who could not upgrade their settlement to level 6 due to lack of supplies. Now, Ubisoft created a fix where you can now purchase supplies at the merchant if you have this specific issue. And I say very specific because it's only available at level 5 and once a specific amount of supplies have been collected. I tried to trigger it for me in an older save, but it didn't work. Might be because I had enough supplies from the start, but if you had this issue and it's fixed for you, please let us know in the comments down below. You can also, of course, find supplies from smaller chests in cities and some enemy camps if you're still looking for them. And finally, going over some weapon perk fixes, namely the recent added Crescent Shield from the Wolf Pack and the Side of Tribulation you can get in Francia. Starting with the Side, one of my favorites, which the perk can set the weapon on fire after a successful light or heavy finisher hit. Sounds amazing, but it wasn't working correctly in the previous update. It didn't trigger every time you would do a light or heavy finisher, which was a bit odd. And no, this wasn't because Jor was hitting the spear, because a little later he hit the same enemy and it did work. Well, luckily now they fixed it with this patch, as it now triggers every time you do a successful light or heavy finisher hit. Looking hot too, by the way. The weapon is like all lit up. Definitely gonna use it more often. Moving on to the Crescent Shield from that recent Werewolf pack, where there was also something up with the perk. It increases melee damage when parrying, but first it wouldn't stack. Here you see Dennis parry with having the perk already, but it doesn't increase. Well, now you do get one stack, so 10 melee damage after a parry, which then increases when you parry more often in the time window. I tried it on the druid enemies in the new river raids and it seems to work now, so a positive change for people who use it.
Thanks, Joyce, of course. If you noticed any secret changes with the update, so things that Ubisoft did not tell us about, then totally let us know via the input@joraptor.com email address or in the comments down below. We will, of course, be following up with a secret changes video, a deeper look at all the new items that were added, the rune changes, and way more. So subscribe if you haven't already to be up to date on everything Valhalla. A like on the video would really help me out. You can check out another Valhalla video by clicking on the screen. Maybe one of those ones I just mentioned is already up. For now, I will speak to you next time, and goodbye.